The Knox nickel plate Watchman's Tower was built in 1927 and was staffed 24 hours a day. A buzzer and indicator light in the tower would alert the watchman that a train was coming. He then would turn on crossing flashers and bells for the 4 main intersections in Knox, alerting pedestrians and cars of the oncoming train. These crossings now have automated guard flashers. The Nickel Plate Railroad, officially known as the New York, Chicago, and St. Louis, was built through Stark County in 1882. As the railroad use grew, it was evident that pedestrians and vehicles needed more warning at the railroad intersections. The high rate of fatal accidents at railroad crossings was instrumental in the Nickel Plate Company's placing watchmen at the main crossings in Knox. When a train approached, the watchman flagged vehicles and pedestrians. Even with these precautions, crossing accidents were many. In 1927, the Watchman's Tower was constructed just north of the depot on Pearl Street. This allowed one man to watch the 4 main crossings in town. The Watchman's Tower had a small coal stove to keep the operator warm in the winter, and windows could be opened in the summertime for ventilation. The controls for the crossing signal lights and bells were housed in a small box in front of the operator. The box was full of switches and control wires leading to the different crossings. When a train approached from either the east or the west, a corresponding indicator light and buzzer would alert the operator. He then would turn on the 4 crossing flashers and bells for the 4 intersections: Heaton, Pearl, Main, and Shield. In 1986, when the Watchman's Tower was no longer needed because of the automation of the crossing signals, Dr. Walter Fritz saved the tower from being destroyed. The house was removed and loaded onto a flatbed trailer. The post, with its concrete base, was removed and transported on a farm truck. Dr. Fritz had the Watchman's Tower moved temporarily to his farm north of Ober, Indiana, until it could be moved to a more suitable site to be restored. Since the Knox Nickel Plate Depot had been restored and moved north to a new location on US 35 called Gateway, it was only fitting that the Watchman's Tower be placed near the depot again. So, in the summer of 1999, the Watchman's Tower was moved from Dr. Fritz's farm to be refurbished at Jim and Melba Schilling's shop north of Knox. Andrew Albrecht, in a quest for his Boy Scout Eagle Award, developed a plan for restoring the little house of the Watchman's Tower. For several weeks, he arranged for other Boy Scouts, relatives, and neighbors help him scrape paint, fix boards, prime wood, re-roof, and repair windows on the tower house. Because of the rust at its base, the tower post had to be reinforced with extra steel. It was sandblasted and painted and given a new concrete base. Electric conduit and the 4 braces were anchored to the main post. Finally, on a cold December 2nd, 2005, the finished tower house was delivered to the Gateway area. It was carefully unloaded from the flatbed trailer by a forklift. Bolt holes were measured and remeasured. The house was carefully lifted and moved into place. Slight adjustments were constantly needed to make alignment perfect for the 6 bolts which anchor the house onto the post.
The 2 lift forks had to miss the bracket supports and yet be wide enough to safely support the house. Over the years, the men and women operating the Watchman's Tower have been a true asset to the community. In the tower, situated in its lofty and carefully placed location, they could easily watch for trains above the traffic below. If only the tower could talk. Children, now adults, share memories of the watchman leaning out of the window and waving at them as they walked home from school. It is also well known that some children were invited to climb the steel ladder to look at the potbelly stove, the coal pail, the control box, and the view of town. Now, thanks to Dr. Walter Fritz, the Stark County Historical Society, and many, many other individuals, the Watchman's Tower stands at Gateway as a reminder of those people who have been on guard for the safety of the public at railroad crossings in years past.